Hello everyone! Today we are going to be going over our CSS part of this series or course, and as you can tell on my website I don't have any images and it looks like it's not working. This is because of our CSS. If you ever run into this problem, you should check all your files because I ran into this problem before and I had no clue. I looked over the code, everything was right. It was the styles because I didn't have the styles correctly set up. So I'm going to show you how to correctly set this up so you can keep this body here, but for now we're going to put it down to the end. The first thing we should have is our container. As you can see, this is purple. This is not the color you want this to be. So what you need to do is add a dot in the end. And as you can see, it's orange. Orange is the color that you want. We're going to set the width to 70%. Make sure to add the semicolon or it will give you errors. Next up, we're going to add the margin. And we're going to set it to auto. Next up, we're going to add our text align. We're going to add this to the center. Oops. That is it for the container. Now all the containers will have a width of 70. The margin will be auto-centered, and the text align will be in the center. Now, the next thing we're going to add is our image, which in this case would be dot fruit. For this, we're going to add our text align like above, add it to center. Then we're going to add display, which is how the user will be seeing it, and put this inline block. Then we actually have our body, so we can put this up here. And then we have our H1. If we didn't know what an H1 is, an H1 is the text that you normally see. So I'll give you an example. So you have the H1. Okay, I'm gonna make an H1. H1 is gonna say hello world. Now what I'm gonna do is copy full path, go into my browser, paste, oops, and it should be giving me H1. Oh, it's because I did not save. There we go. This is our H1. It's a big or text. So we need that. We don't need that. Now I go back into our styles, and in our H1 we're going to add a margin. Margin 30 pixels. In some cases you will be using percentages, but now we're just going to keep it easy and use pixels. Now we're going to make our font family. Sans serif. We'll do sans serif. Then we're going to add a text shadow, which we want this because it'll make it more realistic. In the text shadow, we're going to add 5 pixels, 0 for the center and the sides, and then the color. And we're going to use this color from Color Hunt Co. If you remember this, it's this kind of text shadow color. Then we're going to add our font size. To 8 REM. Don't know what an REM is? You can go to this website, sitepoint.o. REM means the font size of the HTML unit, which mostly the default would be around 16 pixels to 12 to 16 pixels. In other cases it will be smaller, and in other cases it would be bigger. Here you can use decimals, whole numbers. Right here it shows you the conversion of pixels to REM. As you can see, 10 pixels is 0.625 REM. So they're very different, and over here 32 pixels is 2 REM. Very different percentages, and numbers. Now getting back to this, after our 8 rem we're going to add our color, which currently we can go pick a color. How about we pick a color that's easy on the eyes? We can do a gray for now. We can always change this color, by the way. Now we're going to use our P tag. Our P tag just lets us control the HTML for the page. Here we're going to have the font size to be 2 rem. We just want to set this up real quickly so that all this will just be easier and that we can get the result that we want to get for our picture. Our color could be a simple, let's look on color. Actually, on it, I think we're going to keep the same color just to make sure that everything is color-coded. That is more for the user side. Now we can add our image, which is the main thing that we want to have. And we're going to make this width. So see, you don't even have to change the width or make sure the width is like the same on every single photo or picture you get. But here we got 80%, so every single one of these images, is going to be 80%. And now for our footer, which is the end of the web page, which is where you can write like maybe little notes or just like made by, copyrighted, etc. In this, we're going to write our margin top. This is going to equal 5%. Then again, you can use rem, but for now I'm just using the percentage. Our color will be white, which is hashtag #EEEE. Next up, we have our text align center. Then we're going to have our font family, which honestly can be whatever you want, but for me, I'm going to add indie flower, which is what I should have done up here. Let me see where this is. Sans serif. Should have done like this. There we go. Indie flower. Because honestly, this is a very pretty font. I'll search up for you. It's like a cool, unique font. Like, basically like drawing. We'll also have a cursive. This is like the last resort if indie flower were not to load. You see I made a mistake. I put a period there. You don't want that because this is actually a part of the page itself. So that is it for this video today. I'm so glad that you watched this and learned more about CSS. I will be linking some websites for you guys to follow and read on CSS. Right now, I'll go over a little bit of CSS just for a bonus. You don't have to stay though. As you can see, CSS is a language we use to style for HTML. Basically, HTML is building blocks and CSS is the little add-on. You know, like makes everything pretty and nice and color-coded. Now, CSS describes how HTML elements should be displayed. Like I said, if you just have an H1 text, it's just going to be plain black. Then, with CSS, you can change it to blue or whatever color you would like. As an example, as I showed you, this is a great website, W3 Schools, and it has the property reference, selectors, functions, animatable, because you can animate with CSS and HTML and JavaScript. So this website is a very nice website, and I really push you to use these websites to search up whenever you're in need or in trouble. Thank you for watching this bonus part.